First up on the list is a stunt pulled by Marlon Brando that is just as topical today as it was back in the early 1970s, 1973 to be exact. While Marlon Brando isn't the first person to decline their Oscar for various reasons, his snubbing of the ceremony following his iconic role in The Godfather was certainly one of the most memorable. Brando was considered a shoo-in for the winner of Best Actor, and he had already taken home the Best Actor statue once before for his role in the 1955 movie On the Waterfront. However, despite what many would consider this to be a huge honor for the actor, he decided to not even attend the ceremony. Instead, he sent Native American actor and activist Saheen Littlefeather on stage to decline the award on his behalf. He did it in protest of the way that Native Americans have been treated in the United States. The 1973 awards were the first time that the show had been broadcast internationally, and over 85 million people watched Littlefeather's passionate speech, which came just a month into the standoff between Native American activists and the cops after police killed a Lakota man at the Wounded Knee Reserve in South Dakota. Next up on the list is the 1974 Academy Awards ceremony, when an English teacher named Robert Opel stripped down and ran on stage while Elizabeth Taylor was being introduced for an award. So Robert ran on stage completely naked and sprinted around for a bit. After the stunt had occurred, the host at the time quipped, quote, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen." But isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings? Luckily for Opel, he was able to evade arrest, probably because everyone thought the stunt was hilarious. Instead, he was invited backstage to explain himself. Turns out the streaking was part of Opel's commentary on the way society has become too conformist. Opel, who owned a Los Angeles gallery known for showcasing homoerotic art, also streaked at the Los Angeles City Council meeting. Next up on the list is a horrifyingly cringy musical number that actor Rob Lowe did with a Snow White impersonator. This happened during the 1989 Oscars, which was considered a year of many firsts. The first time the ceremony used the famous red carpet, first time the term, quote, "and the Oscar goes to" was used, and the first time the show didn't have a host. Instead of a host opening the awards, it was Rob Lowe and Snow White singing an 11-minute version of Tina Turner's track Proud Mary, with the lyrics tweaked to fit the show's theme. The performance was super awkward and cringy, but the scandal part comes from it also being illegal. The performance prompted Disney Studios to file a copyright infringement lawsuit against the Academy for using Snow White's image without permission. On top of that, a group of 17 heavyweight actors wrote in to write a scathing letter to the Academy, calling the performance an embarrassment to the people who were nominated. Yikes. Next on the list is the Oscars that took place in the year 2000. After winning Best Supporting Actress for her role in Girl Interrupted, Angelina Jolie and her brother James Haven shocked the crowd super uncomfortably when they locked lips at the Vanity Fair after-party. During her acceptance speech for the role, Jolie shouted out her brother with the equally uncomfortable line, quote, "I'm in shock and I'm so in love with my brother right now. He just held me and said he loved me, and I know he's so happy for me, and thank you for that." The kiss immediately sparked headlines, which Jolie called pathetic. She later said that the siblings had been visiting their mother, who had cancer, in the hospital that day, and the kiss and declaration of love had just been part of her reaction to the day's emotional ups and downs. Next up on the docket is the time that Bjork made international headlines for her bizarre and iconic dress at the 2001 Academy Awards ceremony. While the dress certainly made a statement on its own, the quirky artist took it one step further by pretending to lay an egg on the red carpet. She had a bunch of ostrich eggs and she just left them all over the red carpet, and reportedly also left one in the women's bathroom while inside the ceremony. Her outfit was so memorable that it is now a part of an exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art.
Coming at number 5, we have Gina Carano. Gina Carano is a former MMA fighter turned Mandalorian star who angered some fans with a series of politically charged social media posts after the star made an anti-Semitic statement and paired them with American politics in 2021. She also went on to use a slew of hate towards the Jewish community before adding, "How is it any different from hating someone for the political views?" The actress later came under fire again when she decided to make fun of transgender people on Twitter by saying she preferred the pronouns beep, bop, boob. In the wake of her anti-Semitic comments, the hashtag #FireGinaCarano began to trend on Twitter, which resulted in Disney to sever ties with her, and her management company, United Talent Agency, dropped her as a client as well. And where are you gonna go without your agency? Nowhere. Number 4. Chrissy Teigen. After ex-swimsuit model Chrissy Teigen was accused of bullying Courtney Stodden in the beginning of 2011 after Courtney was 16 and married 51-year-old Lost actor Doug Hutchinson, Courtney would claim that Chrissy wouldn't just tweet her things about her needing to take a dirt nap, but the model would also tell Courtney she wished she would just pass away in her DMs. Courtney would then spark fashion designer Michael Cotello and teen mom Brera Abraham to come out with their stories where they claimed Teigen bullied them as well. Teigen then quit her role as a narrator on the hit show Never Have I Ever, and she was then replaced by Gigi Hadid. It was then reported that her cookware line disappeared from Macy's and that Bloomingdale's had dropped her from their deal. Chrissy also had to back out of a planned cleaning products line that she was working on with Kris Jenner. Chrissy then tried to apologize to everyone, including Courtney, but the apology just wasn't genuine, and it was more just an attempt she made to try to save her career. Number 3. Matt Damon. When Matt Damon infuriated the LGBTQ+ advocates when he told the Sunday Times of London in August of 2021 that one of his daughters had taken him to task months ago for using a homophobic slur in a joke, the 51-year-old actor then went on to defend the comments in a statement, later claiming that the Times interview led many to assume the worst, and then he went on to say that he never called anyone that word in his personal life, and it was just a conversation that he was having with his daughter, and it was not a personal awakening, before claiming he doesn't use any types of slurs towards anyone. While Matt went on to receive a huge amount of hate online, he hurt many fans in the process, and because of this, the actor hasn't really gotten many gigs in acting and directing. As the scandal did break, Matt was promoting his film Stillwater, which took in a disappointing $2 million at the box office, and The Last Duel also flopped as it earned just $30 million. Meaning, Matt won't be offered any directing gigs anytime soon because he's costing production companies an insane amount of money because his films aren't living up to what it's bringing in. Number 2, we have Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was slammed for making jokes about the LGBTQ+ community in October of 2021 Netflix special The Closer. GLAAD then released a statement saying Dave Chappelle's brand has become synonymous with ridiculing trans people and other marginalized communities. Dave would then be booed and protested by some students when visiting his high school in Washington, D.C., and in February it would be announced that Dave would be producing 4 more comedy specials. And then he went on to shrug off all his backlash by saying, "Is this what's being cancelled is like? I love it." He has since continued to perform and was nominated for a 2022 Grammy, but more and more people continue to refuse to work with the star, and I don't blame them. And coming in number 1 today, we have J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter author caused a storm with her social media post about the transgender community, starting in 2019 when she supported a British woman who was fired from her job after making transphobic tweets. 6 months later, J.K. then piled on with her own snarky tweet about menstruation. She then went on to pen an essay on her personal website explaining her position but not putting out any fires. In addition to ongoing backlash, fans and Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint have all taken the author to task, to the point JK even skipped the HBO reunion special for the 20th anniversary. Even with her cancellation, it seems like the author is just becoming richer as she continues to make deals and produce more movies in the franchise she created.
And at number 10, Jennifer Lawrence. This is one you know we had to include. Jen is known for her quirky and down-to-earth personality and not taking herself too seriously. She's also quite the klutz, which she proved after she tripped while walking up to the stage to accept her Oscar for Best Actress in 2013. After she got up to the stage, the crowd gave her a standing ovation, and she said, quote, "You guys are just standing because you feel bad that I fell, and that's really embarrassing." And this isn't the only time that Jennifer has fallen. She actually fell at the Oscars again while on the red carpet a few years later. This Oscars klutziness has caused some to think she's just faking it all for press.
At number 9, Hattie McDaniel. Back in 1940, legendary actress Hattie McDaniel was nominated for an Academy Award for her work in Gone with the Wind, and she actually ended ended up winning the Oscar. However, because of segregation at the time, she was almost unable to accept the award because she was black, and they almost didn't let her attend the ceremony. Back then, the venue where the award ceremony was held was a whites-only establishment, so people from the studio that made the film had to pull a lot of strings to get the actress in the building, and even then she wasn't allowed to sit with the rest of the cast of Gone with the Wind. Instead, she was seated in the far corner of the venue away from everyone else, but as long as she was there and able to accept the award, that was enough. She made history that night and caused scandal, but it just showed Hollywood that racism will never win.
And at number 8, Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. The whole world fell in love with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper when they were starring in the movie A Star Is Born. The on-screen chemistry between the pair was so amazing, many fans thought there was definitely a real connection between them. The rumors about these two got even crazier when the pair performed a ballad from the movie at the 2019 Oscars, and the chemistry during the performance was hard to deny. Lady Gaga had also recently broke up with her fiancé Christian Carino around this time, leading many to think it was because of jealousy. And then during their performance, Bradley's longtime girlfriend Irina Shayk was sitting in the audience, which made things even more awkward. The whole situation got a ton of buzz for the movie, but might have had real-world consequences as Irina and Bradley split up shortly after.
At number 7, John Travolta. Now, I wouldn't really call this one a scandal per se, but it did have a lot of people talking and laughing about it, so I just had to include it. In 2014, John Travolta created one heck of a meme, and you probably remember it. At the Oscars that year, Idina Menzel was supposed to perform Let It Go from the movie Frozen, which was kind of the hottest movie at the time, and John Travolta was supposed to introduce her to the stage. Well, instead of introducing Idina, he instead welcomed someone named Adele Dazeem.
Gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen. Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
This mishap was incredibly embarrassing for both parties, as it created memes within minutes and was even the subject of a John Travolta name generator where it would scrabble your name like Adele Dazeem. Even though it was super cringy, there's actually an explanation for the whole unfortunate ordeal. According to John, Idina's name had been changed on the teleprompter at the last minute so that it was spelled phonetically because they didn't want to risk him messing it up. John hadn't rehearsed with the name spelt like that, so rather than the change help him out, it actually just made things so much worse, and Adele Dazeem was born.
And at number 6, Eminem. In 2003, the Oscars category for Best Original Song was jam-packed with big contenders, including the fan-favorite Eminem track Lose Yourself from 8 Mile. Lose Yourself actually ended up winning the award, and nobody was more shocked than the rapper himself. After he won, Eminem did not get up on stage, and one of his other collaborators accepted the award on his behalf, saying that Eminem was not able to make it that night. But the truth is that Eminem was so convinced he would not win the award, he didn't bother to show up. In an interview later, he was asked about that night, and Marshall admitted that he was actually asleep when it was announced that he won, which I'm sure the Oscars were not happy about.
Number 5, Morgan Freeman. In 2018, it would be brought to light that a young production assistant thought she had landed the job of her dreams when in the summer of 2015, she started working on Going in Style, a bank heist comedy starring Morgan Freeman, but the job then quickly developed into several months of harassment. She then later told CNN that Morgan subjected her to unwanted touching and comments about her figure and clothes on a near daily basis. She also claimed that Morgan constantly would rest his hands on her lower back or rub her lower back, and in one incident he even tried to pull up her skirt. And it said that Morgan's inappropriate behavior was not limited to that one movie set, because according to sources who spoke with CNN, a woman who was a senior member of the production staff of the movie Now You See Me in 2012 claimed that her and her female assistant on numerous occasions were approached by Morgan, who solicited comments about their bodies. And considering what happened last year, the Academy definitely wants a show that's quiet and no one really talks about, so we probably won't be seeing Morgan Freeman there this year. Number 4, Ricky Gervais. It's clear that Ricky Gervais will never be a host for the Oscars, as he's too much of a risk, even with the comedian himself revealing that he would never host the esteemed film award show because he wouldn't be allowed to do what he wanted. Now, Ricky has hosted the Golden Globes 5 times now, but he knows the rules would be very different for the Oscars, and he's just not interested in doing so, as he knows he would find himself being cancelled halfway through the show like other celebrities have. He continued to go on to say, "They'd never let me do what I wanted. That's why the Globes got me. They said I can write my own jokes, say what I want, no rehearsal. The Oscars would never." And if the Oscars said that, then I'd do it, but that would never happen. But they certainly let Chris Rock do it, so honestly it's probably best for Ricky to stay away from the mic and the show, as he might get a little controversial if he was invited. Number 3, 3. Chris Brown. Back in 2022, Chris Brown revealed the reason behind him not attending any award shows anytime soon, and that's because the Academy has banned him from being in attendance to any type of show going forward. The R&B superstar revealed that he's been banned from award shows, and he even made a revelation about it while he was sharing a video to his Instagram from one of his concerts in New Mexico, saying that he would have quit the industry a long time ago if it wasn't for his fans. But do you even have a lot of fans left to begin with? Despite his ability to sell out concerts, not in Canada or America, may I add, not only will the Academy not let him attend the ceremony, but he is also not allowed to perform due to his violent behavior. Let's face it, he only got a Grammy nomination this year, not because his album was popping off, it was because the Grammys didn't want to deal with his wild outbursts from the star if he didn't receive a nomination in the first place, because the world still isn't over what he did to Rihanna and the other woman following. Number 2. Quentin Tarantino. When news broke that Quentin Tarantino convinced Uma Thurman into driving an unsafe car during the filming of Kill Bill, which resulted in a crash, the director would soon call it the biggest regret of his life. Soon after, reports soon started to come saying not only that, but that he also spat on Thurman during filming, and he even had a pretty physical altercation with her, and it said he also did the same thing to Diane Kruger in a scene in Inglourious Basterds. And with it, many people started to question whether it was time to cancel Quentin Tarantino or just not include him in the Oscars. Even with his film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being very controversial, it provoked considerable unease as it would take on the gruesome subject following the passing of Sharon Tate, among others who fell into the hands of the Manson family. His interest in violence against women is just so strange and unusual, and by celebrating it, it would just be wrong. And coming in number 1 today, we have Seth MacFarlane. If you watched the Oscars back in 2013, then you know the whole night was just a total call off. Now, to have Seth MacFarlane host the Oscars, it was pretty shocking to begin with due to his animated show being pretty controversial. The Academy should have known that the night would have been pretty controversial to begin with. But with saying that, I don't think any of us saw the show being turned into complete misogyny after Seth decided he was going to prove that he could sing in his opening number. But with it, he did it in such a controversial way, as the comedian went on to showcase the most misogynistic song in history that he called "We Saw Your Chest," which named actresses who have stripped down for on-screen roles, mentioning every female from Meryl Streep to Naomi Watts. He also went on to enlist an entire choir of men to join in the rousing chorus. And if you caught the show, then you know Charlize Theron's face said it all when the cameras panned over to her and you could see her unimpressed face as she hid with her hand. To make matters even worse, he made jokes about women getting sick so they could get into shape for the awards show, as well as making Chris Brown and Rihanna jokes, which just wasn't cool, let's face it.
In at number 10, Roman Polanski.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski for The Pianist.
Back in 2003, Roman Polanski had won the Oscar for directing The Pianist. However, due to him not showing up, Harrison Ford had to not only present the award, but accept it on his behalf. It's amazing that Polanski was still even considered at all for this category. After pleading guilty to having an unlawful relationship with an underage woman, he fled the US before he could be sentenced. So his status of refusal to accept the award probably came from the fact that he legally cannot be in the United States or else face jail time. He's like, no, but I'm good. We're sure that's why you're good. In at number 9, Woody Allen.
The Academy congratulates Woody Allen and accepts this award on his behalf.
Woody Allen has won a total of 4 Oscars but has only attended the event once. That clip was from 1978 where Allen won the Oscar for directing Annie Hall, but due to his refusal to accept, they had to accept it on his behalf. The only time that Woody Allen touched the stage at the Oscars was in 2002. It was less than 6 months following the attacks of September 11th, and Allen wanted to tell the audience that the Big Apple was still a wonderful place to make movies. After the awards, Allen said, "I have no regard for that kind of ceremony. I just don't think they know what they're doing. When you see who wins those things or who doesn't win them, you can see how meaningless this Oscar thing is." Well said, Woody, well said. You creep. In at number 8, Paul Newman.
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the award for Paul Newman, the president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Mr. Robert Wise.
Paul Newman had a very understandable beef with the Academy after being nominated for the award of Best Actor 6 times and never winning. Yet year after year, Paul showed up because he was nominated and patiently waited again and again for his big win. By 1987, Newman had 2 honorary Oscars and 6 nominations to his name before finally winning for his role in The Color of Money. Although the one time that Paul actually won, he didn't show up. Later he told the Associated Press, "It's like chasing a beautiful woman for 80 years. Finally she relents and you say, 'I'm terribly sorry, I'm tired.'" I love these statements, like, damn. Again, I'll say it. Well said, Paul. Well said. In at number 7, Banksy.
Here are the nominees for Best Documentary Feature. Exit Through the Gift Shop, Banksy and Jamie DeCruz.
For those of you who don't know who Banksy is, he's an anonymous British street artist that is known around the world for his sometimes very political pieces. He's done everything from graffiti to full exhibits showcasing his work. A film was even made about him in 2010 called Exit Through the Gift Shop. It was a documentary that followed around some of the top street artists as they went through their process and tried to avoid the authorities while doing so. Banksy, being the anonymous character that he is, did appear in the film, but his face was hidden and his voice was altered to protect his identity. When the film was nominated for an Oscar, Banksy agreed to attend, with his only request being that they do not reveal his identity. Well, the Academy did not see the value in that and refused to accommodate his request. So instead of showing up to the Oscars, Banksy did what he does best. A couple days before the event, this mural suddenly appeared in Los Angeles. The mural equates the Hollywood elite to the Galactic Empire from Star Wars. And I just love the stormtroopers working the cameras while the Oscar statue is altered to appear in the image of a true artist. More specifically, a Banksy. In at number 6, Eminem.
Goes to... Woo! The Oscar goes to Eminem, Jeff Bass, and Luis Resto for Lose Yourself.
In 2003, the category for Best Original Song was jam-packed with big contenders. Eminem's Lose Yourself from the movie 8 Mile was against Burn It Blue from Frida, Father and Daughter from the Wild Thornberrys movie, The Hands That Built America from Gangs of New York, which had Bono writing on it, and I Move On from the movie Chicago. All of these had amazing musicians behind each track, to the point where even Eminem himself didn't think that he was going to win. Eminem thought the Oscars were just for actors, so number 1, he thought, why would I win this? And number 2, he thought, why would I show up for that? In an interview later on, he was asked about that night, and Marshall admitted that he was actually asleep when he won the Oscar. Instead, his co-writer Luis Resto had to accept the award on his behalf.
Number 5, Kevin Hart. After an old controversy from 2018 continued to dominate the headlines in 2019 after he was announced as being the host for the 2019 Academy Awards, comedian Kevin Hart publicly stepped down from his gig when a series of old homophobic tweets resurfaced. Kevin's anti-gay ideology wasn't exactly a secret before, as he devoted part of his 2010 stand-up special to describe his terror that his son would turn out to be gay and his intention to prevent it however he could. And after that year, you think Hollywood might have done some Twitter search before naming its host. And Kevin's response just hours before stepping down, he would not apologize, and he would say in a video, "Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. I want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify or explain the past. Then you do. I'm the wrong guy, man. I'm in a great place, a great mature place, where all I do is spread positivity." 6 hours later though, he would reconsider and he would finally step down from his hosting gig, and then he would make a formal apology to the LGBTQ community, and you probably won't see him attending any award shows anytime soon. Number 4, Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is another woman banned from the Oscars, like Paris Hilton, in an attempt for the award ceremony to keep things more classy. Except everything about Pamela Anderson is actually pretty classy, except for her R-rated tape. Sources would confirm that Pamela would be banned from attending the ceremony, so the Academy officials could prevent the evening from turning into a downmarket scrum. The inside source would also continue to say that the Academy plans to focus more on those people who have worked in the film industry for years, not people who were merely celebrities in other areas. But Pamela has been in the industry since 1991, when she landed her most major acting gig on Baywatch and gave us the iconic red bathing suit look. So to say that she couldn't be at the Oscars because she wasn't in the film industry for years would just be absurd. But then other sources would come forward to say the decision to ban certain stars is down to the fact that Hollywood's Kodak Theater holds less than half the capacity of the previous venue, and even high-profile stars are struggling to secure tickets to the event. But if that's the real case, why would the Academy even think it was a good idea to downgrade their venue to one of the biggest award shows of the year. Number 3. Carmine Carditi. The Godfather star Carmine Carditi was banned from the Oscars after he was summoned by the FBI. While Carmine's strength as an actor got him steady work for many years, eventually earning him his membership in the Academy. As a member, he was actually pretty inappropriate to viewers. Eventually, trouble would come to town when Russell Prague visited Chicago and was introduced to Carmine by another member of the Godfather Part 3 cast. When Carmine mentioned that he was able to watch screeners for the latest film, Russell was somehow able to talk him into sharing these screeners with him. As part of Carmine's agreement with the Academy, this was not allowed. Even so, Carmine decided to still go along with it as he wanted to share his privileged position with a friend. This would work out well for time, but things quickly began to spiral out of control when the FBI got involved. Rather than a harmless movie fan Carmine thought Russell was, he actually turned out to be one of the most notorious film pirates in the country. Instead of watching the movies, he would copy them and distribute them to the internet. With both men being taken in by the FBI, Carmine would find himself being sued by Columbia Pictures and Warner Brothers, and he would become the first person ever banned from the Academy. Number 2. Roman Polanski. Movie director Roman Polanski would end up being expelled from the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences over charges of unwanted advances on younger women. Back in August of 2020, Roman would lose a court bid to be reinstated as a member. Roman, who won an Oscar in 2003, would be banned by the Academy in May 2018 because of a long-standing criminal case which dates all the way back to 1977. The director then argued in a civil lawsuit he was denied by the Academy when it decided to expel him under a code of conduct drawn up in response to his unwanted advancement misconduct allegations against dozens in the entertainment industry. The Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mary H. Strobel wrote in a ruling that Polanski was given the opportunity to present any evidence he deemed relevant to the Academy, including a lengthy brief from his attorney and a video statement. While Roman has continued to deny his misconduct, he did win an Oscar in 2003 for The Pianist. But I think we were all pleased when the court confirmed that the Academy's procedure to ban him from the awards ceremony was both fair and reasonable. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Britney Spears. Britney Spears has found herself being barred from the Oscars since 2005, and since she's even been banned from attending all the celebrity-filled pre-Oscar parties. While Britney has been desperate to dress up and snare an invite to one of several glitzy bashes that are happening across LA, she's been met with a stony and embarrassing silence from the organizers. Britney is definitely still a big name in Hollywood, and a lot of people in town know her for all the wrong reasons. While the Oscars has chosen to snub her from pretty much anything, they claim it's because she's a car crash waiting to happen, and organizers don't want to take the risk of her showing up and creating a scene. With every celebrity battling to secure the most high-profile guest, Britney is being seen as a gamble no one wants to take, with one source saying her presence at any party would instantly generate lots of publicity, but while it's tempting to send out an invite, it's a hassle they don't really want. There's also still been a mounting concern among fellow A-listers of Britney's mental health, and they feel like the parties would still be too much for Britney, and her fragile state might just tip her over the edge if she was to attend. While Britney was definitely devastated over the snubs, she definitely has a lot to look forward to as she's back in the studio creating some major bangers. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Will Smith. The whole world has been talking about the infamous slap that happened at the 2023 Oscars, to the point it's just old and everyone needs to stop talking about it. However, with a handful of celebrities such as Jim Carrey, Amy Schumer, Zoe Kravitz, and many more speaking out about Will's actions, it has caused Hollywood to turn their backs on this brilliant actor, and it would start the cancellation process of Will Smith. Sony would then announce that they would have to put Bad Boys 4 on hold, and Netflix would also backburn Fast and Loose. CAA then started to discuss if they should drop Will as a client. Smith then canceled himself by quitting the Academy, and the Academy then went on to ban him from attending the ceremony for the next 10 years. And we still don't know what this means for the star within this period of time, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Number 9, James Franco. Back in 2014, James would be exposed for going on Instagram and asking a girl when he was outside a theater in New York if she was 18. She then told the actor she was actually 17. He then went on to ask her the name of the hotel she was staying at and if he should get a room in the same hotel as well. Later in an interview on ABC Live with Kelly and Michael, the actor would then explain the encounter by saying, "I used bad judgment and I learned my lesson." Then in 2018, 4 female students from his Studio 4 acting school in North Hollywood told Los Angeles Times that James had compromised his position as a teacher to make unwanted moves and exploit them. With 2 of those girls going on to sue James, the actor would then have to fork out $2.23 million after he settled the case. Seth Rogen, his longtime collaborator and pal, also went on to drop James, and he would later tell the Times London that the scandal changed his relationship and that he had no plans to work with Franco in the future, which became the end of the pair's 20-year partnership. James then made an appearance on the Jess Cagle podcast in 2021, where he admitted that he slept with his acting prodigies and that it was wrong, before claiming he had struggled with addiction and that being dismissed by Seth was actually a really hurtful experience for him to go through. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and you know, subscribe to the channel. Coming back to our list, in the number 8 spot we have Kanye West. It's hard to know where to start with Kanye West's long list of controversies, as not only has the star been accused of cyberbullying his ex-wife Kim Kardashian and her old partner Pete Davidson, but he's also made some anti-Semitic statements that has everyone wondering if the star is really doing this as a cry for help. Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate the situation has caused his career to plummet, and he lost out on huge business deals not only with Gap and Adidas but also with Balenciaga. On top of that, he was even dropped by his agent. Now, it's unclear with how long the rapper will be cancelled for, but one thing is for sure is that even when we should be keeping him out of the spotlight, outlets just keep scheduling interviews and pushing him to his limits, to the point his unhinged moments have become more unhinged, and every time it's like we see something we've never seen before. Number 7, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer has been pinned by some disturbing allegations from his former flame, Effie Angel Nova, when she accused him of making unwanted advances and fantasizing about cannibalism. And then another ex would claim that Armie carved an A into her pelvis, and that he even asked her to have a rib removed surgically so he could eat it. And if things couldn't get any worse, an app developer who dated Armie for 5 months in 2020 also made the same claims, and on top of that, she said the actor liked the idea of having skin in his teeth. Now, Armie's lawyers have gone on to deny all the allegations by saying any interactions with any of his partners were completely consensual and that they were fully discussed, agreed upon, and it was a mutual participation. After the allegations were released, the divorced dad would go on to be dropped out of the film Shotgun Wedding, the Paramount Plus series The Offer, and the Broadway show The Minutes. In February 2022, a close friend to the actor would then tell the Post that his acting career should be coming back any day now, but that still hasn't happened and it probably won't. Number 6, DaBaby. When DaBaby was caught making homophobic remarks at a music festival in Miami back in 2021, he would end his career after he made some comments that dissed the LGBTQ+ community. Then later he went to try to clarify his views, and he only dug his hole even deeper to crawl out of after he doubled down on his claims. So DaBaby then got ripped apart by the LGBTQ+ community, and even celebrities like Madonna, Elton John, and Dua Lipa called him out for his insensitive comments. The fashion brand Boo Hoo Man even bolted on a deal they had with him. He would then find himself being booted from the 2022 Lollapalooza tour, and his concert in Atlanta was called off amid a flurry of cancellations for his concerts, including a radio station putting his music into a timeout. DaBaby then went on to embrace his plummeting stock and declared himself cancelled in a new version of his hit Whole Lotta Money, where he cries and laughs off his current situation.
We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Kanye West. Now, there's a number of reasons why Kanye is no longer welcome at the Met Gala. The most obvious reason why is because of all the recent drama surrounding him and the Kardashians, and the number of hateful, xenophobic, and anti-Semitic things that he has had to say. In fact, a Vogue spokesperson told Page 6 that Vogue and Anna will never work with Kanye ever again. Not only that, but in 2014, Anna put Kim and Kanye on the cover of Vogue magazine with the hashtag World's Most Talked About Couple. When asked about why she did this, she said, and I quote, "I think if we just remain deeply tasteful and just put deeply tasteful people on the cover, it would be a rather boring magazine." Meaning she finds both Kanye and Kim both very,
distasteful, and she basically only featured them to get attention. In our fourth spot, we have Kim Kardashian. Kim sparked so much controversy last year at the Met Gala after losing a bunch of weight to try and fit into Marilyn Monroe's vintage gown, which apparently got damaged after Kim wore it. Due to this controversy, and again her controversy with Kanye, people believe that Kim will not be invited back. Not only that, but one of Anna's team members told Page 6 that they are cracking down on the Kardashians and that they might not receive an invite this year. But knowing Kris Jenner, I could see her pulling some strings to make sure it still happens. Moving on to number 3, we have Khloe Kardashian. Now, Khloe Kardashian's first Met Gala was actually just last year, while her sisters have attended a number of other times. Why is this? Well, Anna said that she was too C-list for her prestigious event. Now that is something else. And her first time might actually be her last time. She showed up to the event wearing a beaded gold Moschino dress, but she received backlash as people said it was too boring for the year's gilded glamour theme. If she didn't impress Anna, then she might not be coming back this year, especially since it seems like the Kardashians as a whole are not in her good books right now. In our second spot today, we have Amber Heard. This one is quite obvious. After the whole trial with Johnny Depp, a number of brands and events have boycotted her, including the Met Gala. The Met does not want to be associated with that drama at all. If she would attend the event, it would only receive negative media attention for Anna and the Met. Now, we all know how messy this court case was. Johnny Depp sued his ex-wife Amber Heard in March of 2019 after her 2018 article for the Washington Post titled "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change." In the piece, she refers to herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Depp wasn't mentioned by name, but he said it was defamation of his character. He ended up losing everything. He was dropped from the Fantastic Beasts franchise and replaced, and was dropped from Disney as well. He was then labeled as a wife beater in a number of magazines. But in the end, Johnny Depp won the defamation trial against Amber Heard. The jury awarded him $15 million in damages. Amber Heard has already been dropped by a number of brands, including L'Oreal, and she's basically been blacklisted from Hollywood. I can't see her getting any acting jobs anytime soon, let alone being invited to public events like the Met Gala. Now, before I go any further, folks, I want you to smash that like button and leave me a comment below. Like, who can't you wait to see at the Met Gala? For me, I think it's Harry Styles, or Zendaya for sure, like she always slays. Like if you agree. Now, we'll continue on with the video. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Jameela Jamil. Jameela Jamil is for sure banned from this year's Met Gala after calling out this year's theme. Like I said, the theme celebrates Karl Lagerfeld, and well, she is not a fan of his at all. She said, and I quote, "This man was indeed supremely talented, but used his platform in such a distinctly hateful way, mostly towards women, so repeatedly and up until the last years of his life, showing no remorse, offering no atonement, no apology, no help to groups he attacked. There was no explanation for his cruel outbursts." She continued on her rant by saying, and I quote, "Those groups were women who were assaulted, the entire Me Too movement, gay couples who wanted to adopt, all fat people, specifically fat women, and some of his greatest harm was against Muslim refugees, and the disgusting way he spoke about people fleeing their homes for fear of their lives. Why is this who we celebrate when there are so many amazing designers out there who aren't bigoted white men? What happened to everyone's principles and advocacy?" Wow, she really went off on this. So starting off our list today at number 10, we have Rachel Zegler. Sometimes it's probably better to stay quiet about certain issues, and that was definitely the case when it comes to Rachel Zegler. So if you don't recall, just before last year's ceremony, Rachel would find herself not being invited to the show, and in the process she went on to shade the Academy for it. Eventually the Academy wanted to make things right, so they asked her to join presenter Jacob Elordi on the stage. However, once she got on the stage, she decided to shade the Academy once more by saying, "Dreams do come true really fast. Her comment was definitely a reference to her post that she made just a week before the show when she responded to a fan who said, "Can't wait to see what you'll be wearing to the Oscars." Rachel then responded by saying, "I'm not invited, so sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel." After an outcry spread across social media, the actor would explain that she tried every method possible to score a ticket, but she was unsuccessful. Well, at least she did make it to the show, but that will probably be the last show she can attend for a while. Number 9, Chris Rock. You know, Chris Rock probably should have scored himself a ticket to this year's Oscar ceremony if he just did one thing: be a better man and let everything in the past remain in the past. After a year of remaining silent about the incident that occurred in 2022, he has finally opened up about the incident, and I'm going to be honest, his comments should have come right away. Coming a complete year after the incident occurred is uncalled for and just a little bit childish, especially since he's chosen to take the high road for so long, and now everything just seems a little too calculated and not right. And if the Oscars wants to eliminate any drama from this year's show, they should be asking Chris Rock not to attend. In preparation for Chris Rock's upcoming special on Netflix, the comedian is set to talk about the incident that dominated much of the headlines last year. According to Wall Street Journal, the comedian's references how much it hurt, and he also pokes fun at Will Smith when he quipped, even in animated movies, "I'm a zebra and he's an effing shark." But to make fun of the incident isn't really funny, and Will had to even go through therapy, so this just isn't okay, and Chris should honestly just do better. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, Russell Crowe. Even though Russell Crowe is an Oscar-winning actor, director, and musician, we probably won't be seeing him at this year's Grammys ceremony. And it's not really surprising, as Russell's temper has made more than a few headlines over the years, and since nobody really knows if the actor can truly behave himself, as the actor's temper has landed him in hot water, he ended up getting a felony charge for it. So Russell's temper has had a reputation for years, as he has a tendency to take things a little too far, and his reputation has now earned him a reputation as an actor who is difficult to work with. So back in 2004, Russell's behavior would completely be out of hand after he got riled up in a hotel lobby, and he ended up injuring a clerk behind the lobby desk. Then in 2016, Azealia Banks even filed a police report accusing Russell's violence to be excessive, as he once spit on her. And back in 2002, he even shoved Malcolm Gary against a wall and cursed him out because of his acceptance speech being cut too short. So why would the Academy risk inviting someone who could cause another Chris Rock and Will Smith altercation? Number 7, Ben Affleck. Well, it's definitely not the Academy banning Ben Affleck from the ceremony this year, but it's most likely Jennifer Lopez trying to protect her husband from any more gloomy memes. As let's not forget, when we all sat down to watch the Grammys a couple weeks ago, Ben was captured a couple times on camera looking miserable. And then when we thought it couldn't get any worse, we then all saw J-Lo snap at her husband out of nowhere. But honestly, the whole show just looked like Ben was dragged to a work thing with his wife, and he truly had no interest in attending the event whatsoever. Now, with the Oscars just around the corner, J-Lo definitely doesn't want any more people questioning her and Ben's relationship. So she's probably gonna make sure Ben stays at home and watches the ceremony in his sweatpants for this moment, as the star just appears sad and J-Lo is done with the misinterpretation. Number 6, Sean Penn. When Sean Penn decided to get a little political last year at the Grammys, it kinda has him in a hot seat, as he promised to boycott the Academy if the Ukrainian president wasn't part of the show's program. But this hasn't been the actor's first controversial moment, as back in 2022 he doubled down on his comments that made fun of feminine men. When he sat down in an interview with The Independent, he would tell the newspaper, "I am in the club that believes that men in American culture have been widely feminized. I don't think that being a brute or having insensitivity or disrespect for women is anything to do with masculinity, or ever did. But I don't think in order to be fair to women, we should become them." When Sean was then asked to clarify his comments, he would then say, "I think men have, in my view, become quite feminized. I have these strong women in my life who do not take masculinity as a sign of oppression towards them. And with how the world is changing, the Academy just shouldn't allow people who don't adapt to change and accept others for who they are." Number 5, Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie Jolie is pretty much known for her iconic performances in movies like The Tomb Raider and Maleficent. Yet it would seem like even though Angelina has an edgy yet elegant fashion sense that has transformed her into a celebrated fashion icon over the years, it still isn't enough to impress Anna Wintour. Despite being an A-list celebrity, Angelina has never attended the Met Gala, and she probably never will. So we all know that Angelina has never been the one to shy away from making red carpet statements, and she would have probably given us some stunning Met Gala appearances. However, it seems like the star has never been invited to the event, not just because she doesn't find it a priority, but it's because Anna has always suspected that there's just something off about the actress. And with her making a huge scene about her divorce from her ex-husband, Anna now finds her just to be a little too C-list and a little too problematic to be invited to the event. Number 4. Tom Brady. Back in 2014, we were all shocked to see Tom Brady attend the Met Gala, but at the same time, we were all just a little disappointed to see what he chose to wear on the red carpet, because it was clear he just didn't really understand what the event was supposed to be. Well, apparently Anna Wintour felt the exact same way, as when she made an appearance with Seth Meyers to dish out about the Met Gala that very same year, she would throw some major shade at Tom after a photo of the quarterback was shown, and in the photo the quarterback wore a black tie to a white tie event, and Anna responded by saying, well, at least he has Gisele Bündchen, so that helps. And since he's never really been invited to the event because he clearly never reads the invitation. Number 3. Andre Leon Talley. Back in the day, Andre Leon Talley and Anna Wintour appeared to have an unbreakable bond, but later on they proved that appearances can be deceiving. As in the lead up to his memoir, The Chiffon Trenches, Talley spilled the tea on his former boss when he claimed that he was fired from his position as Vogue's editor-at-large in 2018 because he had become too old, too overweight, and too uncool. Andre then went on to paint a brutal picture of Wintour when he alleged that she didn't have any decency and kindness to call or email him about his firing. After Andre then went on to note that before he was fired, he was told his weight was out of control and that he was being sent off to a rehabilitation center at Duke's Diet and Fitness Center. With their friendship being over, it seemed like Anna no longer sees Andre as value to her, and she has completely axed out the editor, leaving him to deal with both emotional and psychological scars. Number 2, we have Giorgio Armani. After Anna Wintour decided to skip out on Giorgio's show on the last day of Milan's Fashion Week, the designer took notice and let the whole world know when he told reporters, there are some who prefer to snub the Giorgio Armani show and go to Paris. She took an airplane, dumped Mr. Armani, and went to Paris. Despite voicing his unhappiness, Anna's behavior upset Giorgio the most, as instead of attending the event herself, she sent her people to the event to attend for her. And this made him feel like he wasn't influential and powerful because Giorgio chose to call Anna out. He's been penalized for it because the power she holds over the fashion community, and because of this, it's not only taken a huge hit on his line, but he's now also been axed from attending the hottest event of the year. And with noting that, when was the last time you ever seen his designs hit the Met Gala? Years. Number 1. Isaac Mizrahi. In 2019, fashion designer Isaac Mizrahi would report that he once fell out of Anna Wintour's favor and she would start to body shame him in the process. Despite the pair having a long-time friendship that spanned on for more than 3 decades, Isaac still decided to dish the dirt on some alleged toxic moments they had in their relationship in his memoir. And in it, he would reveal that Anna has a habit of making fun of his weight, and she never missed an opportunity to make note by congratulating him when he was thin or teasing him when he wasn't. Isaac then went on to note that he knew his relationship with Anna was over in 2013 when he was backstage for his event and she didn't show up. And it seems like his and Anna's bond has been shattered for good as they don't see each other, and she's even axed him from attending the Met Gala. Coming at number 10, we have Will Smith. So last year, actor Will Smith was issued a 10-year ban by the Film Academy after he disrupted the recent 94th Oscars by slapping presenter Chris Rock on the stage. The ban prohibits Smith from attending all Academy-related events, both virtual and in person, for a period of 10 years. It doesn't, however, make him ineligible for nominations at the Oscars. Smith had taken offense to a joke Chris made about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and he then walked up on the stage and in a shocking moment hit the comedian across the face. Less than an hour later, Will would then win the Oscar for Best Actor, and in his speech he would apologize for his fellow nominees in the Academy. A day later, he issued a public apology to Rock, and sometime after that, he announced his resignation resignation from the Academy. The Academy would then come out with a statement and said the 94th Oscars was meant to be a celebration of many individuals in our community who did incredible work this past year. However, those moments were overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage. The actor then went on to accept the decision, which means he will no longer be able to attend this year's ceremony as a presenter, as in the tradition of the Oscars. While the decision to expel a member isn't unheard of before it happened to Smith, there have actually been a handful of members expelled by the Academy. Coming at number 9, we have Paris Hilton. While Paris Hilton tends to be in attendance at almost every party, fashion show, and awards, even Paris Hilton reportedly was banned from attending the Oscars since 2008. And when the socialite first heard of the news, she surely wasn't happy about it, and she was actually devastated that she couldn't attend the prestigious award event. With a source claiming that Paris cried a lot when she found out she was banned from the Oscars, it would also be noticed that Paris was desperate to be taken seriously as an actress, and she hoped she would be able to network with the film bods. Word on the block is Paris even spent $2 million on a dress for the ceremony back in 2008 before she heard about her ban, which left her feeling so embarrassed to attend the Oscars after show parties, and even considering going in disguise due to her ban. She was even tempted to go to the parties afterwards but wear her trademark wig to save her dignity. Said that Paris would even find herself being snubbed from the event in a bid to prevent the event from turning into a down market scrum. Hi my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Miley Cyrus. Have you ever noticed that Miley Cyrus has been pretty much missing from all the award shows lately? Well, back in 2020, Miley would post a clip of herself from the 2013 MTV EMAs where she would be shown taking out a pre-roll from her black Chanel clutch and lighting it up on stage in the middle of her presenting duties. While sporting a bodysuit and a furry coat, she then oozed an effort amount of cool when she did the unthinkable during the show. With Miley taking a clip and posting it, she would caption the clip by saying, "Wonder why I'm not invited to award shows anymore." While the star hasn't chosen to elaborate on the video, it certainly isn't really clear if she was joking or not, but it has been some time that we've seen Miley hitting up the award shows. And it looked like her celebrity friends, like designer Alexander Wang, found the dig humorous enough. He even told the wild child to never change. Even Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa would chime in to let Miley know if she ever had an award show, she would have the singer there. Whether it's true or not, we love a good Miley presenting the celebrations, as she always comes out to slay. Number 7, Kevin Spacey. After allegations made by more than 30 different individuals that Kevin Spacey had made 30 unwanted advances towards younger men, in 2017 BuzzFeed would publish allegations made by Anthony Rapp that said Kevin had made some unwanted advances towards Rapp when he was only 14. And since, more than 30 people have come forward with their own allegations against Spacey, with accounts ranging from a number of different allegations. Bringing the lawsuit to light would stand as part of a larger movement to stand up against all forms of violence. Rapp claimed that Spacey climbed on top of him at a party in New York City when he was younger. Kevin would then gladly deny Rapp's allegations, and his lawyers would create this story, in which in a large part of the made-up story would claim that Anthony was jealous of Spacey's career in the entertainment industry. And then, when more allegations started to come forward, Kevin would finally admit to his actions, but said it was okay because he was gay. Since the allegations have come forward, Kevin is now blacklisted from Hollywood, and he will no longer be allowed to attend any award shows anytime soon. Number 6, Adam Kimmel. Cinematographer Adam Kimmel is known for his work on Lars in The Real Girl. However, in 2021, Adam would find himself being expelled from the Academy following the emergence of his history after allegations came forward about his misconduct with women. Adam had been arrested twice. Both times, the allegations involved a younger female. In 2003, when he was 43 years old, he would plead guilty to making unwanted advances to a girl in New York who was around 15 and 16 years old. In 2010, Kimmel would be arrested again in Connecticut for 4th degree of unwanted advancements involving a younger person and failure to register as a SO. Due to the crimes and the hurt he inflicted on a handful of younger women, the Academy saw fit to expel Adam from the Academy and permanently place a ban on him from attending any Academy Awards. While the Academy strives on protecting the safety of their performers and guests, they couldn't guarantee that Adam wouldn't be a threat to any female female in the audience, and they couldn't justify his actions and decided that he should be banned from attending the ceremonies going forward. But the fact that his crimes happened between 2003 and 2010 and the Academy still allowed him to attend the ceremonies until 2021 is actually pretty messed up. Number 5. Kevin Hart. After an old controversy from 2018 continued to dominate the headlines in 2019 after he was announced as being the host for the 2019 Academy Awards, comedian Kevin Hart publicly stepped down from his gig when a series of old homophobic tweets resurfaced. Kevin's anti-gay ideology wasn't exactly a secret before, as he devoted part of his 2010 stand-up special to describe his terror that his son would turn out to be gay and his intention to prevent it however he could. And after that year, you think Hollywood might have done some Twitter search before naming its host. And Kevin's response just hours before stepping down, he would not apologize, and he would say in a video, "Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. I want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify or explain the past. Then you do. I'm the wrong guy, man. I'm in a great place, a great mature place, where all I do is spread positivity." 6 hours later though, he would reconsider and he would finally step down from his hosting gig, and then he would make a formal apology to the LGBTQ community, and you probably won't see him attending any award shows anytime soon. Number 4. Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson is another woman banned from the Oscars like Paris Hilton in an attempt for the award ceremony to keep things more classy. Except everything about Pamela Anderson is actually pretty classy except for her R-rated tape. Sources would confirm that Pamela would be banned from attending the ceremony so the Academy officials could prevent the evening from turning into a downmarket scrum. The inside source would also continue to say that the Academy plans to focus more on those people who have worked in the film industry for years, not people who were merely celebrities in other areas. But Pamela has been in the industry since 1991, when she landed her most major acting gig on Baywatch and gave us the iconic red bathing suit look. So to say that she couldn't be at the Oscars because she wasn't in the film industry for years would just be absurd. But then other sources would come forward to say the decision to ban certain stars is down to the fact that Hollywood's Kodak Theater holds less than half the capacity of the previous venue, and even high-profile stars are struggling to secure tickets to the event. But if that's a real case, why would the Academy even think it was a good idea to downgrade their venue to one of the biggest award shows of the year? Number 3. Carmine Carditi. The Godfather star Carmine Carditi was banned from the Oscars after he was summoned by the FBI. While Carmine's strength as an actor got him steady work for many years, eventually earning him his membership in the Academy. As a member, he was actually pretty inappropriate to viewers. Eventually, trouble would come to town when Russell Prague visited Chicago and was introduced to Carmine by another member of the Godfather Part 3 cast. When Carmine mentioned that he was able to watch screeners for the latest film, Russell was somehow able to talk him into sharing these screeners with him. As part of Carmine's agreement with the Academy, this was not allowed. Even so, Carmine decided to still go along with it as he wanted to share his privileged position with a friend. This would work out well for time, but things quickly began to spiral out of control when the FBI got involved. Rather than a harmless movie fan Carmine thought Russell was, he actually turned out to be one of the most notorious film pirates in the country. Instead of watching the movies, he would copy them and distribute them to the internet. With both men being taken in by the FBI, Carmine would find himself being sued by Columbia Pictures and Warner Brothers, and he would become the first person ever banned from the Academy. Number 2. Roman Polanski. Movie director Roman Polanski would end up being expelled from the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences over charges of unwanted advances on younger women. Back in August of 2020, Roman would lose a court bid to be reinstated as a member. Roman, who won an Oscar in 2003, would be banned by the Academy in May 2018 because of a long-standing criminal case, which dates all the way back to 1977. The director then argued in a civil lawsuit he was denied by the Academy when it decided to expel him under a code of conduct drawn up in response to his unwanted advancement misconduct allegations against dozens in the entertainment industry. The Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mary H. Strobel wrote in a ruling that Polanski was given the opportunity to present any evidence he deemed relevant to the Academy, including a lengthy brief from his attorney and a video statement. While Roman has continued to deny his misconduct, he did win an Oscar in 2003 for The Pianist. But I think we were all pleased when the court confirmed that the Academy's procedure to ban him from the awards ceremony was both fair and reasonable. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Britney Spears. Britney Spears has found herself being barred from the Oscars since 2005, and since she's even been banned from attending all the celebrity-filled pre-Oscar parties. While Britney has been desperate to dress up and snare an invite to one of several glitzy bashes that are happening across LA, she's been met with a stony and embarrassing silence from the organizers. Britney is definitely still a big name in Hollywood, and a lot of people in town know her for all the wrong reasons. While the Oscars has chosen to snub her from pretty much anything, they claim it's because she's a car crash waiting to happen, and organizers don't want to take the risk of her showing up and creating a scene. With every celebrity battling to secure the most high-profile guest, Britney is being seen as a gamble no one wants to take, with one source saying her presence at any party would instantly generate lots of publicity, but while it's tempting to send out an invite, it's a hassle they don't really want. There's also still been a mounting concern among fellow A-listers of Britney's mental health, and they feel like the parties would still be too much for Britney, and her fragile state might just tip her over the edge if she was to attend. While Britney was definitely devastated over the snubs, she definitely has a lot to look forward to as she's back in the studio creating some major bangers. So starting off our list today at number 10, we have Chris Brown. Considering Chris Brown had a major meltdown at the Grammys, it's not really surprising that the star was disinvited from this year's show, with the singer becoming completely unhinged over the last couple of weeks, as he has not only dissed the artist that beat him out for a Grammy, but he's also lost his mind about how his fans are still outing him for what he did to Rihanna years ago. Chris has now sparked even more fury after he grabbed former Love Island star Natalia Zopa by the throat while giving her a lap dance during his Manchester live show earlier this week, and what is proving to be a signature move as he tours around the UK, as no one in North America wants to see him live, so he has to do it in the UK. The R&B singer, who has a history of violence, wrapped his hands around the beauty's neck before grinding on her. This would come just weeks after Chris berated his critics for repeatedly mentioning his brutal altercation with his then girlfriend Rihanna in 2009. Fans in the Academy are now calling the latest footage displaying Chris's behavior as disturbing and hideous, as you can visibly see Natalia was uncomfortable as Chris kept putting his hands on her neck. And now he has been banned from attending this year's show, which will definitely cause Chris to lose his mind on social media platforms shortly. Number 9, Kanye West. You would think that right after Kanye West took to the stage to interrupt Taylor's acceptance speech in 2009, he would have been barred from any award shows going forward. But it wasn't until February 2015 when Kanye reprised his most infamous stunt at the 2015 Grammys that would have Kanye West barred from all future award shows, after Kanye took to the stage to interrupt Beck, who was accepting the Album of the Year award. The organizers of the major award shows like the Grammys, VMAs, People's Choice Awards, and the Oscars would unanimously agree to disinvite and bar West from their respective ceremonies. The television networks that also air these awards programs also went on to join the West boycott movement. And while the star definitely had the chance to be reinvited at one point, after he made some anti-Semitic statements and created a slew of controversies, he can kiss any invite goodbye for years to come. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, it would really help us out. Coming at number 8, we have Hailey Bieber. If Justin Bieber attends the VMAs this year, turns out he won't be able to take his wife with him, as rumor has it. She has been disinvited due to her uncalled mean girl behavior. Now, if you've been completely offline for the past couple of weeks and have no idea what I'm talking about, it's still likely that you heard something about the fresh drama that's surrounding Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, with Hailey being accused of not only fat shaming Selena, but also making fun of her overall appearance. It has caused the internet to choose sides in the matter, as it seems like everyone is on Team Selena, just like they should be. With Hailey's nasty personality being released, the VMA organizers have found it would be best if Hailey doesn't show up to this year's show, as it could be problematic if Selena and her run into each other on the red carpet, and the VMAs definitely wants to avoid a full-out mess. So with Hailey out, we definitely won't see Justin attend, and if he does attend without his wife, it could indicate that he and Hailey are headed towards a divorce shortly. Number 7, Miley Cyrus. Back in 2020, MTV would post an article written by Britney Vincent. In the article, Britney would point out the reason why we haven't seen Miley at any of the award shows lately. And even Miley has hinted to why she hasn't been invited to any award shows when she posted a clip of herself from 2013 MTA EMAs where she could be seen taking a joint out of her black Chanel clutch and lighting it up on the stage in the middle of her presenting duties. She then went on to caption the video by saying, "And we wonder why I'm not invited to award shows anymore." And then in 2015, Miley would find herself being even banned from attending and performing at the VMAs after her performance shocked many viewers. I guess not everyone could appreciate Miley's tongue and booty shaking moment like the rest of us did. Number 6. Morgan Wallen. Not everyone has completely forgiven country singer Morgan Wallen, as he is still being blocked from attending many music events such as the VMAs. Back in 2021, a video of Morgan would start to circulate online, and it would show him in the video using the N-word. And since Morgan has been banned from attending most award shows, and most reps for these shows have agreed that Morgan has been banned because of his conduct and that it doesn't align with the show's core values, and if they did include him in the shows in any capacity, they would be saying that they agreed with what he did, and that's something they just can't support. Even with Morgan issuing an apology and doing an interview with GMA in July of 2021 where he said he was working on himself, the Academy still believes the country singer hasn't done enough work to participate in any shows as of now.
Next on the list is the 2003 Oscars, and more specifically when Michael Moore took to the stage after his win for the Best Documentary category. While we've all heard the music start to kick up when the acceptance speech goes on for a tad too long, Michael Moore was well within his time slot when he had to be cut off. That's because, like the political commentator he is, he directly attacked George W. Bush for the unnecessary invasion of Iraq. Quote, "We live in a time where we have a man sending us to a war for fictitious reasons. Shame on you, Mr. Bush, shame on you." He was met with boos from the audience and was quickly played off stage. Ironic, honestly, especially when Michael Moore was criticizing presidents long before it was okay to do so, and the same people who booed him off stage ribbed future presidents at other award shows. Just shows the shallowness of the whole thing. Next up is the 2015 Oscars when John Travolta hopped onto the Oscar stage to introduce Idina Menzel, who voiced Princess Elsa in the Disney Frozen movie. People were obsessed with Frozen during this time, and it instantly became a classic in the Disney canon. The Frozen song Let It Go had been nominated for Best Original Song, which meant that Idina would be performing the song for the ceremony. When John Travolta was set to introduce her, he inexplicably said, quote, "The wickedly talented, one and only Adele Dazeem." Travolta later said that seconds before he was set to go on stage, he ran into Goldie Hawn and missed the announcement that the producers had changed the spelling of Menzel's name on the teleprompter to a phonetic version that was supposed to be easier to pronounce. Luckily, Menzel was a pretty good sport about the whole thing. She reunited with Travolta at the next year's ceremony. Next up is the infamous 2017 Best Picture announcement mix-up. At the very end of the ceremony, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty took to the stage to reveal the night's big-ticket Best Picture winner. All was going smoothly until Beatty went to read the winner. He looked noticeably confused, and some wondered if he was having a hard time seeing the teleprompter. He held the card out to Dunaway, who assumed he was changing up the script and allowing her to read out the winner. She announced La La Land, and the cast and crew filed on stage to celebrate. Backstage, Academy accountants from PricewaterhouseCoopers sprung into action and alerted production that the wrong envelope had been given and that Moonlight actually had won Best Picture. Stage managers scurried on stage to correct the gaffe. So what happened? Turns out Beatty had been handed an extra Best Actress envelope, which had gone to Emma Stone from La La Land, instead of the one labeled Best Picture. A production error earlier in the day meant that they had run out of time to rehearse the last few awards prior to showtime, which could have contributed to the mistake. Oopsies. Next on the list is the 2020 Oscars, where the much-deserving film Parasite had just been announced as the Best Picture of the year. It marked the first time that a non-English language film took home the top honor. When the cast and crew headed on stage to accept the award, which was one of the 6 the movie won through the night, co-producer Kok Sin-ae first took the mic and spoke for 45 seconds before turning things over to Mikey Lee, the film's other producer. But before Lee got to deliver her speech, the lights went down on the stage and cameras focused on Jane Fonda, who was slated to deliver the night's closing remarks. The audience was instantly outraged, and stars like Tom Hanks and Charlize Theron, who were sitting in the front row, started chanting "Up, up," to persuade the showrunners to turn the attention back to Parasite. Luckily, the cheers worked and Lee was able to deliver her remarks, but it didn't stop tons of outrage from coming out in reaction to the rude dismissal. And now, finally, we come to the Oscars that were literally just held a few days ago with another big scandal. As Chris Rock took to the stage to present the award for Best Documentary, the comedian made a few jabs at Hollywood and its actors. One such jab was toward Jada Pinkett Smith, who suffers from alopecia. Basically, it was a joke aimed at her being bald, to which Jada's husband, Will Smith obviously, rushes the stage and slaps the words right out of Chris Rock's mouth. Chris was obviously super shocked, and Will Smith sat back in his seat but shouted back at Chris not to talk badly on his wife. Everyone in the crowd was super stunned, obviously. A fight has never broken out on the Oscars stage before. And it was just super sweet chicken soup for my middle class soul.
Coming in at number 10 today, we have Miss Finland. Beauty contestant model Miss Finland, commonly known as Erica Helen, has claimed that she was kicked out of a restaurant because of her inappropriate outfit. Erica, who has competed in numerous national modeling contests, said a jerk of a security guard booted her from a restaurant because of her attire. After Erica claims her outfit in question featured her wearing a bralette top, which she paired with a black mini skirt, heels, and a matching bag. Erica was in the restaurant focusing on a good-natured conversation with her friends when the security guard suddenly approached her table to take her out of the restaurant, and he told her she had to leave. When Erica gathered her stuff and walked out of the bar without objecting in any way, the security guard started to criticize her outfit of choice. While Erica noticed that she could have just grabbed another shirt from a store if the outfit was pointed out right away, she also said in her opinion, it is contradicting to even take in a customer if the outfit is not suitable, and that it's no longer appropriate to change your minds after and humiliate the customer in the process. While it still remains a mystery to why the security guard behaved so aggressively with her, Erica felt really threatened by the whole situation. While the manager of the restaurant has come out to make amends with her, he's also guaranteed that he will retrain his staff on how to handle this situation better next time. And number 9, Britney Spears. In 2007, Britney Spears would find herself in a throw of prolonged and public episodes of apparent mental health breakdowns. And in one of them, she made a spectacle of smearing food across her face in a restaurant in Los Angeles. Other diners present, including fellow pop diva Victoria Beckham, mentioned to the staff that Britney was acting really strange when she started to play dress up with her dinner. Eventually, the staff intervened and escorted Britney from her table and outside of the restaurant hotel, and she would then be informed that she was no longer welcome on the hotel grounds. While her sin wasn't her behavior itself, it was because of her unapologetic nature of her behavior that really didn't sit well with the restaurant staff. Her restrictions, however, were finally lifted after Spears cleaned herself up and agreed to follow the dress code of not playing dress up with her food, as she was pictured celebrating her 28th birthday there 2 years after the incident occurred. While no one really knows the reason behind Britney's breakdown, it's been hinted that if you want to get away with certain actions at Chateau Marmont, then you have to be really mum about your antics, and if you get caught, you have to be playfully vague about it. However, noting that there was absolutely no way Britney could have gotten away with playing dress up with her food, especially since she was saying it was so good while doing it. Hey Peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And number 8, Rita Ora. After gathering too much attention from a selection of revealing outfits, Rita Ora was reportedly banned from wearing anything too risky on future episodes of The Voice if she wanted to stay on the show. According to The Sun, the singer was ordered by BBC bosses in 2015 who are said to have frowned upon her outfits that included a nipple-bearing sheer top, a shirt that had a graphic image of breast, and while promoting her debut on The Voice ahead of the season that year, she attracted complaints when she appeared on The One Show in a deep plunging top. While the bosses didn't really get involved when viewers complained about the revealing suit, they did feel like the t-shirt was too close to the mark and her see-through top took her right over the top. However, while Rita agreed to sport a tamer look, she would state that she wasn't going to dress like a nun because that wasn't her style. And number 7, Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus would find herself banned from the cover of US Vogue following her raunchy VMA performance with Robin Thicke back in 2013. While the singer had already posed for the December cover, Anna Wintour decided to axe her shoot. With Anna finding the whole performance extremely distasteful, she decided that based on Miley's VMA's performance to take the cover in in a different direction. The high-profile editor was at first behind Miley taking the prestigious cover and was eager for the shoot to go ahead. While it makes sense that Miley would be the cover of the issue since it was coming out in October at the same time her album was coming out, after she had another wardrobe malfunction in Paris, she could kiss her cover goodbye. When Miley was spotted out posing for photographers, despite making another wardrobe malfunction for the paparazzi, Miley would then lift her arm to wave at fans waiting outside when her top slipped down. Not only did she not have a problem with her wardrobe malfunction, however, Anna Wintour would think differently, and she would then go on to cancel Miley's issue from appearing that year. And number 6, Beyonce. From music royalty to a powerful businesswoman, Beyonce is a household name with superstar status. While being one of the most famous women in the world, she too has even had some controversial moments. While it's not uncommon for celebrities to be banned from other countries due to their publicized actions, it may come as a surprise to some in the Beehive that Beyonce is one of them. When Malaysia issued a ban on Beyonce from ever touring, performing, or entering the country with the country's strict Muslim leadership, Beyonce would be deemed too sexy for Malaysia. Beyonce was scheduled to perform in Malaysia in 2007, but due to her inappropriate outfit concerns, it would lead to her ban and she would have to cancel her performance in the country. According to a BBC report, female performers at Malaysian concerts are required by government rules to cover up from shoulders to knees and have no cleavage showing. Since Beyonce is known for her confidence and sexy performance, it was understandable to why the country thought it was a good idea to ban her. However, it was kind of ridiculous to have such strict and permanent ban for a celebrity who was most likely going to follow the country rules so she wouldn't offend anyone.
At number 5, Ryan Seacrest. This one is more of a personal scandal than a high-profile one, but I'm gonna tell you about it because my boy Ryan was super hurt by it. Imagine being invited to one of Hollywood's biggest events just to get kicked out moments after you arrive. Well, this is basically what happened to Ryan Seacrest as he was invited to the Oscars award ceremony one year and was kicked out of the awards show shortly afterwards. According to Ryan, he was invited to the award show to provide the segue from the pre-show event to the main award show, which in itself is a pretty big honor, but after he completed his task, he went to go find his seat because he assumed that he would be staying for the rest of the show, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. While he was looking for his seat, he was approached by the event's ushers and managers and was told, quote, "Mr. Seacrest, your car is ready." He was a little confused and was like, no, what do you mean? I just opened the show," to which they replied with, quote, "We don't have a ticket for you, Ryan." He continued recounting that experience saying, quote, "They put me in a car and they drove me out, and the next thing I know, I'm on Hollywood Boulevard going away from the Oscars, and the LAPD are on the corner, the windows down, and they say, 'Hey Ryan, you're going the wrong way,' and I say, 'No, I'm going the right way.' They sent me home to watch on television like everyone else." He was pretty butthurt about it and maybe still holds a grudge for that, but at least he was able to get comfy at home.
And at number 4, the 1974 Oscar streaker. This one's a little less known, but since most award shows are live broadcasts, it's understandable that some people might try and take advantage. That's exactly what happened at the 1974 Oscars when a man decided to run naked through the broadcast. The man even flashed a peace sign while he ran past the presenter, David Niven. Niven was hardly fazed and responded by saying, quote, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen, but isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings." And honestly, probably the shadiest thing that I've ever heard.
At number 3, Sean Penn. Actor Sean Penn got into a bit of a scandal at the 2015 Academy Awards. The actor was announcing the award for Best Picture, but before reading the name of the winner, Alejandro G. Iñárritu, he made a joke that definitely did not land and actually offended quite a few people. Before announcing Alejandro as the winner, Sean joked saying, quote, "Who gave this son of a B a green card?" Sean's joke was seen as highly offensive and racist because of Alejandro's background, as one person online explained, quote, "Struggles people endure for immigration justice are not punchlines." As Alejandro is Mexican, the joke definitely was uncalled for and inappropriate. Some defended Sean, saying that he had only made the joke because they had been friends for about a decade, but others made the argument that, quote, "A director of color can't accept an Oscar without being the butt of a racist joke." The award show was supposed to be a scandal-free evening, but instead news outlets took to broadcasting Sean's offensive remark.
And at number 2, Marissa Tomei. Before we had the infamous Moonlight La La Land mix-up, there was a popular conspiracy theory going around claiming that Marissa Tomei did not actually win her 1993 Oscar. Instead, the presenter just said the wrong name and everyone went along with it. This theory was started because many were shocked to see that Tomei had won instead of her well-established competition. As well, following the event, The Hollywood Reporter printed a blind item about rumors that she hadn't really won. They claimed the presenter, Jack Palance, was too intoxicated to read it right, so he just read the last name as the winner. It was such a big rumor the Academy had to deny it many times. After the La La Land mix-up, we know that if she didn't really win, someone would have made it right.
And finally in at number 1, Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is quite the jokester and is known for his wild characters. From Bruno to Borat, he seems to almost always be in character, and this was seemingly no exception at the Academy Awards in 2012. Sacha was at the event and walked the red carpet in character as Admiral General Shahbaz Al-Addin from his film The Dictator, and along with being accompanied by 2 bodyguards, he had a prop with him, a golden urn filled with the pretend ashes of North Korean Premier Kim Jong-il. While walking the red carpet, he stopped to be interviewed by Ryan Seacrest, and then this happened.
The interesting thing is it's actually made by South Korea. No, sorry. You've got Kim Jong. You've got Kim Jong-il.
Sacha dumped the ashes on Ryan, ruining his suit and causing quite a scene at the event. Weeks later, we found out that Sacha's original target was actually George Clooney, but since it was a pretty big night for him, they skipped Clooney and the unfortunate prank landed on Ryan instead. After that, Ryan purposely steered clear of Sacha, refusing to interview him, and the Academy has been vigilant of Sacha's stunts, even though they haven't really been able to stop them since.
There was a few crazy ones in there. Also, 2 involved Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, that guy really does not have a good track record with the Oscars.
He really doesn't. I'm also just shook they kicked him out, like when you were saying that earlier. I'm like, how can you kick out Ryan Seacrest? I feel like he's A-list enough to go to the Oscars just regularly.
I know. I mean, they have seat fillers. Like,
yeah.
Couldn't he have been one of the
He could have been a seat filler.
Poor guy.
They could have put him in like the front row seat filler. You know, give him that extra title. Poor Ryan.
All the things that happen at the Oscars, like can this award show never go smoothly?
No, never.
I think it's just because it's live.
Yeah.
Nothing ever goes well when it's live.
That is really a fact. Nothing ever goes good. I mean, I forget what happened to the last one, but I just don't think it was very entertaining. I think it was some sort of, like, it was slightly virtual, so those just aren't as good. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe another scandal.
Maybe another streaker.
Coming at number 10, we have Will Smith. So last year, actor Will Smith was issued a 10-year ban by the Film Academy after he disrupted the recent 94th Oscars by slapping presenter Chris Rock on the stage. The ban prohibits Smith from attending all Academy-related events, both virtual and in person, for a period of 10 years. It doesn't, however, make him ineligible for nominations at the Oscars. Smith had taken offense to a joke Chris made about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and he then walked up on the stage and in a shocking moment hit the comedian across the face. Less than an hour later, Will would then win the Oscar for Best Actor, and in his speech he would apologize for his fellow nominees in the Academy. A day later, he issued a public apology to Rock, and sometime after that, he announced his resignation from the Academy. The Academy would then come out with a statement and said the 94th Oscars was meant to be a celebration of many individuals in our community who did incredible work this past year. However, those moments were overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage. The actor then went on to accept the decision, which means he will no longer be able to attend this year's ceremony as a presenter, as in the tradition of the Oscars. While the decision to expel a member isn't unheard of before it happened to Smith, there have actually been a handful of members expelled by the Academy. Coming at number 9, we have Paris Hilton. While Paris Hilton tends to be in attendance at almost every party, fashion show, and awards, even Paris Hilton reportedly was banned from attending the Oscars since 2008. And when the socialite first heard of the news, she surely wasn't happy about it, and she was actually devastated that she couldn't attend the prestigious award event. With a source claiming that Paris cried a lot when she found out she was banned from the Oscars, it would also be noticed that Paris was desperate to be taken seriously as an actress, and she hoped she would be able to network with the film bods. Word on the block is Paris even spent $2 million on a dress for the ceremony back in 2008 before she heard about her ban, which left her feeling so embarrassed to attend the Oscars after show parties. And even considering considering going in disguise due to her ban. She was even tempted to go to the parties afterwards but wear her trademark wig to save her dignity. Said that Paris would even find herself being snubbed from the event in a bid to prevent the event from turning into a down-market scrum. Hi my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Miley Cyrus. Have you ever noticed that Miley Cyrus has been pretty much missing from all the award shows lately? Well, back in 2020, Miley would post a clip of herself from the 2013 MTV EMAs where she would be shown taking out a pre-roll from her black Chanel clutch and lighting it up on stage in the middle of her presenting duties. While sporting a bodysuit and a furry coat, she then oozed an effort amount of cool when she did the unthinkable during the show. With Miley taking a clip and posting it, she would caption the clip by saying, "Wonder why I'm not invited to award shows anymore." While the star hasn't chosen to elaborate on the video, it certainly isn't really clear if she was joking or not, but it has been some time that we've seen Miley hitting up the award shows. And it looked like her celebrity friends, like designer Alexander Wang, found the dig humorous enough. He even told the wild child to never change. Even Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa would chime in to let Miley know if she ever had an award show, she would have the singer there. Whether it's true or not, we love a good Miley presenting the celebrations, as she always comes out to slay. Number 7, Kevin Spacey. After allegations made by more than 30 different individuals that Kevin Spacey had made 30 unwanted advances towards younger men, in 2017 BuzzFeed would publish allegations made by Anthony Rapp that said Kevin had made some unwanted advances towards Rapp when he was only 14. And since, more than 30 people have come forward with their own allegations against Spacey, with accounts ranging from a number of different allegations. Bringing the lawsuit to light would stand as part of a larger movement to stand up against all forms of violence. Rapp claimed that Spacey climbed on top of him at a party in New York City when he was younger. Kevin would then gladly deny Rapp's allegations, and his lawyers would create this story, in which in a large part of the made-up story would claim that Anthony was jealous of Spacey's career in the entertainment industry. And then, when more allegations started to come forward, Kevin would finally admit to his actions, but said it was okay because he was gay. Since the allegations have come forward, Kevin is now blacklisted from Hollywood, and he will no longer be allowed to attend any award shows anytime soon. Number 6, Adam Kimmel. Cinematographer Adam Kimmel is known for his work on Lars in The Real Girl. However, in 2021, Adam would find himself being expelled from the Academy following the emergence of his history after allegations came forward about his misconduct with women. Adam had been arrested twice. Both times, the allegations involved a younger female. In 2003, when he was 43 years old, he would plead guilty to making unwanted advances to a girl in New York who was around 15 and 16 years old. In 2010, Kimmel would be arrested again in Connecticut for 4th degree of unwanted advancements involving a younger person and failure to register as a SO. Due to the crimes and the hurt he inflicted on a handful of younger women, the Academy saw fit to expel Adam from the Academy and permanently place a ban on him from attending any Academy Awards. While the Academy strives on protecting the safety of their performers and guests, they couldn't guarantee that Adam wouldn't be a threat to any female in the audience, and they couldn't justify his actions and decided that he should be banned from attending the ceremonies going forward. But the fact that his crimes happened between 2003 and 2010 and the Academy still allowed him to attend the ceremonies until 2021 is actually pretty messed up.
And at number 5, Jean-Luc Godard.
As you know, the master, unfortunately, can't be with us here tonight.
For those of you who don't know who Jean-Luc Godard is, he's a very talented filmmaker from Switzerland that has been creating since 1950. In his early days as a film critic, Godard took aim at the way that mainstream French cinema had a tradition of quality, instead of focusing on innovation and experimentation. In late 2010, the Academy wanted to give Godard an honorary Oscar, although there was a slight issue. Jean-Luc never answered their calls, and when asked during an interview what this honorary award meant to him, Godard said, "Nothing. If the Academy likes to do it, let them do it. But I think it's strange. I asked myself, which of my films have they seen? Do they actually know my films?" And later on during that same interview, he was asked why he never attended, and to that, Godard said that he doesn't have a visa to fly into the US, nor does he want to apply for one, adding, "And I don't want to fly for that long." Fair enough, Jean-Luc, fair enough. In at number 4, Katharine Hepburn.
There is Katharine Hepburn and Golden Pond.
Oh, how I I love that awkward moment during all of these Oscar win announcements where the presenter says the person's name and then there's no movement, and now they just have to awkwardly stand there as someone else comes up to accept it. Hepburn has hated the Oscars for most of her career. She has been nominated for 12 Oscars and won 4 of those, although every time she has chosen to avoid the night altogether. The only time that she decided to attend was in 1974. Catherine had been asked to present producer Lawrence Weingarten with a Thalberg Award, and during the ceremony though, Catherine said, "I'm very happy that I didn't hear anyone call out, 'It's about time.' I am living proof that a person can wait 41 years to be unselfish." I mean, you gotta give it up to this strong leading lady for that kind of commitment as well. In at number 3, Dudley Nichols. Unfortunately, I wish we could have some sort of clip for Dudley like we did with everyone else, but the reality is, Dudley is the OG of refusing Oscars. In fact, in 1935, he was the very first person to ever refuse the award. Dudley had won Best Screenplay for the film The Informer, a film about the Irish War of Independence. His reason for boycotting the event was over an ongoing dispute that Dudley had with the Academy and the Writers Guild. The LA Times even recorded that he tried to give back his award, like he was returning a pair of jeans. Eventually, he was able to return the award, and with it he attached a note. The note said, "It would be to turn my back on nearly 1,000 members who ventured everything in the long drawn out fight for a genuine writers organization." I mean, how powerful is that? Like, you remember when people used to stand for something? You go, Dudley, you go. In at number 2, George C. Scott.
Oh my god. The winner is George C. Scott.
Accepting the coveted. Much like Dudley, George had a real problem with the Academy and the way they operated. In 1961, he received a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, but he told the Academy that he didn't want it. Furthermore, he told them that he disagreed on the principle of the award. George thought that the Oscars were simply a competition that pitted fellow actors against each other. Because of this controversy with the Academy, George would not be nominated again until 1971. However, the first year that they had him back in the nominations, this time it was for the Best Actor category, and sure enough, he won. And not only did he refuse to accept the award or any of the nominations before that, he didn't show up at all. He went on again to insult the ceremony further, calling it, and I quote, "a 2-hour meat parade, a public display with contrived suspense for economic reasons." Powerful George C. Scott. I love that he decided to just dig his heels in further with his stance against the Oscars. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Marlon Brando.
Hello, my name is Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache.
Marlon Brando truly is the Godfather. Not only does he not show up to accept his award, but instead he sent a Native American woman to refuse it for him. You can see in the clip that the presenter extends the statue out to her and she just holds up her hand like, I'm good, chief, I'm good. And the woman said that her name was Sasheen Littlefeather, and at the time she was a little known actress and president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee. Brando believed that the Native American image had been completely disrespected by the film industry, so his reason for refusing the award was due to the treatment of American Indians, but the crowd could not accept that. Midway through Littlefeather's speech, the celebrity audience members started booing her, and then later on making very crude comments towards her. Yet regardless of what they thought, this speech remains as one of the most powerful moments in Oscar history.
Starting off this countdown, we have Donald Trump. Now, believe it or not, but Donald Trump has attended the Met Gala before with his wife Melania Trump. This was before his whole presidency run. And in 2004, he actually proposed to Melania at that year's Met Gala. Now, the first red flag that he gave Anna Wintour was that he said he got his ring for half price. Trump proposed with a 13-carat diamond ring worth almost $3 million. Now, he could have kept it at that, but he bragged that he got it for half the price. And Anna said that she found that tacky. Then a couple of years ago, Anna appeared on the Late Late Show with James Corden. While on that show, James asked her who she would never invite back to the Met Gala, and she revealed that it was Donald Trump. In our 9th spot today, we have Gwyneth Paltrow. While on the Kyle and Jackie O show in 2013, Paltrow revealed that her time at the Met Gala was not fun at all. She said, and I quote, "It sucked. It seems like it's the best thing in the world. You always think, oh my god,
god, it's gonna be so glamorous and amazing and you're gonna see all these people. And then you get there and it's so hot and it's so crowded and everyone's pushing you. I think we're all a bit old to dress up, punk. Now I wonder what Anna had to say about that. Now it seemed like Paltrow was banned for a couple of years before returning to the Met in 2017 and then in 2019, but she didn't attend in any recent years, so I highly doubt she will attend this year. Coming in at number 8 we have Tina Fey. Tina Fey has it out for the Met Gala. She is not a fan whatsoever. Back in 2015, Tina revealed to David Letterman, and I quote, "I have gone to it once and it is such a jerk parade. Clearly, I'll never go again." But you go and it's this beautiful space and it's just every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing some stupid thing. You walk up these huge steps, and I went and I dragged my husband along with me too, which I'm still in trouble for. Tina will not be back after calling the gala a jerk parade. But also, she doesn't even want to be invited back, so it's a win for her. In our 7th spot today we have Lena Dunham. American writer, director, actor, and producer Lena Dunham will never be returning to the Met Gala, and honestly, it's by choice. In a conversation with Amy Schumer, Lena revealed how awful her time was at the Met Gala. She said, and I quote, "You and I were literally sitting across from each other at the Met Ball, and it was like a crazy countdown to when we could escape. You were like, we're honored to be here, we're honored to be here." So, although the two of them were honored to be there, they both did not have a pleasant time and will not be returning. Coming in at number 6 we have Melania Trump. I mean, Melania could have still attended without her husband, but she got under Anna's skin and now is banned as well. During an interview, Anna revealed that she's not fond of Melania and her role as a transatlantic fashion ambassador. When asked about it, she said, and I quote, "I think First Lady Michelle Obama is so incredible in every decision she made about fashion. She supported designers, indeed from all over the world. She was the best ambassador this country could possibly have in many ways. Obviously way beyond fashion." So she completely avoided the question about Melania. She didn't acknowledge her at all. She just changed the topic and started gushing about Michelle, who she said is incredible. And Melania, well, she thinks of her in a much lesser way.
Number 5, Courtney Love. If there's one thing you should never do, take my advice and never get on Madonna's bad side, because even today, the power she holds can ban you from attending any award show she will be present at, and that's exactly what happened to Courtney Love. So during Kurt Loder's post-show red carpet interview for the 1995 broadcast, Madonna was clearly starting to settle into her distinguished, elder, stateswoman era. And while she was having a lovely conversation in the post-show red carpet interview, Kurt invited Courtney Love up, and then she started to interrupt Madonna by tossing items out of her makeup bag. The whole world would then witness a very strange and legendary live television event that Madonna was extremely upset about. And we haven't seen Courtney attend the VMAs since. Number 4, DaBaby. Following his homophobic rant and inaccurate comments during his performance during the 2021 Rolling Loud Festival, DaBaby would find his career being flushed down the toilet after business partners and radio stations have began to drop the rapper from their schedules. Even while the rapper has tried to move on from the situation, it just seems like the world isn't ready to forgive him for spreading so much hate and misinformation about the LGBTQ+ community. Even when DaBaby tried to issue an apology, he just found his hole growing even bigger after he decided to double down on his initial claims. Since DaBaby has been cancelled from performing at any music events, his shows have been cancelled, and he's not allowed to attend any award shows like the VMAs. So it makes you wonder if he'll ever be able to bounce back from this, but honestly, the chances seem pretty slim. Number 3, Conor McGregor. During the VMAs in 2021, UFC star Conor McGregor and artist MGK almost got into an altercation that nearly turned physical. When McGregor and Kelly were both on the MTV Video Music Awards red carpet, things took a heated turn when Conor could be seen lunging at Kelly, who was being held back by security and maybe now former fiance Megan Fox? Conor was then later escorted away, but another video would capture him throwing a cocktail in Kelly's direction. Now it is unclear exactly what started the conflict, as neither party commented on the situation, but some had claimed that McGregor walked up to Kelly and then he was pushed away by Kelly's security team theme instead. But the VMAs is keeping Connor away from the event as they don't want to risk any potential knockouts that could ruin MGK's career anymore. But don't worry, Connor, I'm sure Eminem will have you back, considering he did once flush MGK's career down the toilet after he dissed the rapper on his diss track. It was so bad MGK then had to leave the rap scene and turn to acting and then rock music just to stay relevant. Number 2, 6ix9ine. Back in 2018, Nicki Minaj would confirm that rapper 6ix9ine was banned from attending the MTV VMAs, and it's probably because the controversial rapper not only admitted to doing some pretty messed up things, but he also snitched on others during the process, so he didn't have to do any jail time. After losing respect from the rapping community, the controversial New York rapper was intended to perform with Nicki Minaj for their song Fifi on Nicki's stunning VMA set. However, 6ix9ine wasn't approved by officials despite her best efforts, and that's probably because the Academy knew 6ix9ine made a lot of people angry, and having him at the show creates a security threat for anyone attending, and that's why he's been banned from attending the awards since, as they can't guarantee his safety at the show or the ones who will be forced to sit near him. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Andrew Dice Clay. If we're going to discuss celebrities who have been banned for life from the VMAs, then we need to talk about X-rated comedian Andrew Dice Clay. When he was asked to introduce Cher in 1989, it would turn out to be a pretty big spicy 3 minutes for TV, as he went on to debut 2 infamous dirty nursery rhymes for the audience. He also apparently said 2 of the 7 words you should never say on TV. Shortly after, he was then banned from MTV, and apparently the broadcasters haven't reconsidered their decision in decades, as Andrew has still been banned from appearing at the VMAs. He did appear for a sketch on another broadcasting station 3 years later, where he made fun of the exact situation that got him banned. And it's clear that unless he starts to show remorse, he won't be invited to any award shows going forward. So starting off our list today at number 10, we have Jennifer Aniston. Despite Jennifer Aniston being an A-list celebrity who is a regular at award show events and the occasional fashion dinner, everyone's favorite friend has never appeared at the Met Gala, and it makes you wonder why we have never actually seen any of the Friends cast attend the event. Even at the height of the show's popularity, it is said Anna just finds the entire cast too C-list for the event. Or does she just find their fashion statements poor? Jennifer has never been the one to step outside of her comfort zone when it comes to fashion, and Anna has probably never invited her because she feels like Jennifer might just not bring her A game to the event. But if one thing's for sure, we can all agree we would still love to see Jennifer bring her signature effortless elegance to the Met steps one year, because that would be iconic, and Anna's truly missing out by not inviting her. Number 9, Kanye West. With Kanye being pretty controversial, it seems like his high fashion connections are dissolving around him, and it seems like even Anna Wintour now wants nothing to do with him and his erratic behavior, and I don't blame her. Anna's at the point where she has no intentions of working with Kanye ever again, and she's even gone on to end more than a decade-long relationship between them that was both business and personal. After Kanye went on a complete downward spiral, a Vogue spokesperson told Page 6, yay unveiling of his White Lives Matter t-shirts in Paris and his subsequent railing against Jewish people were too much for Wintour. And because of Kanye's most infamous episode, Anna has now reportedly told everyone at Vogue that Kanye has been cut out of the magazine's inner circle, which means Kanye will no longer be able to attend Met Gala events, cover shoots, or even have Fashion Week coverage going forward. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming back to the list at number 8, we have Nicki Minaj. Missing the complete mark of the Met Gala last year, her whole ensemble just went a little too far, with her upper body and face following completely in line with the theme as she was covered in black gems. If Nicki just wore a dress and jewels, her look would have been a complete knockout, but the fact that the rapper decided to wear a weird top that didn't fit her well, a hat, and a pair of pants proves that she really just didn't plan her overall look as well as she could have. To make matters even worse, Nicki's top throughout the night just kept slipping down, and apparently Anna wasn't too impressed with the situation, as this year Nicki is finding herself being axed from this prestigious event, especially since after the event she chose to draw attention to her malfunction by saying, the only unplanned thing about my look is that my chest is popping out because they made my cup size a little too small. But isn't this why you do an outfit fitting before the big day? Number 7, Meryl Streep. Being a 3-time Academy Award winner and 9-time Golden Globe winner, Marilyn is accustomed to red carpet events. However, although the acting legend has starred in several fashion-forward roles in movies like The Devil Wears Prada, it would seem like her role in the movie has made Anna a little less than pleased, as she's constantly refusing to talk about the movie, especially when Meryl and her sat down for a meeting, and during the meeting when Meryl was asked for the identity of the most challenging woman she has ever played, it seems like she was poised to say it was Wintour, only for Wintour to joke, no, we're not going there, Meryl, even though Meryl was set to be co-chair for the 2020 Met Gala when the event was prevented from taking place that year. She was not re-added to the co-chair when the Met was held again in 2021, and she didn't even receive an invite, which proves that there's a lot of tension when it comes to the fashion guru and actress. Number 6. Adele. Even though Adele has become a music icon after her brief break from the industry in 2021, not only did she prove that she was making a comeback, but she also proved that she was a fashion icon. Whether she was performing in outstanding gowns, rocking a stunning pair of heels, or sitting courtside in striking coats, she has made a lot of heads turn. But even with this, the Easy On Me singer hasn't attended the event. Although there have been rumors that she's been invited to the event before, it seems like she decided to snub the gala, which apparently made Anna really upset, as she puts a lot of consideration to who she chooses to attend the event. So the fact that Adele turned down her offer has turned things a little sour, to the point Anna will be snubbing her from this year's event. And number 5. Janet Jackson. In 2004, Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake formed during the Super Bowl halftime show. During the performance, Janet had a wardrobe malfunction after Justin pulled a part of her outfit down. The moment would then become a huge controversy. While both singers apologized for the incident, Jackson would be banned from attending the 2004 Grammy Awards, while Justin, on the other hand, was able to attend the show that year, and he was able to issue an additional apology at the event. While Janet has apologized by saying the decision to have my costume revealed at the end of my halftime show performance was made after the final rehearsal, MTV was completely unaware of it. It was not my intention for it to go as far as it did. I apologize to anyone I offended, including the audience, MTV, CBS, and the NFL. Janet was also so heavily punished for her accidental wardrobe malfunction because they did not believe that the wardrobe malfunction was an accident. While both Justin and Janet were both initially banned from the Grammys, Justin would be allowed to perform at the Grammys after he had a tearful apology for the incident. As a result, Janet, for not taking sole responsibility for the incident, was ordered. Viacom Properties and MTV and all Viacom-owned radio stations had to stop playing Janet's songs and music videos. The fallout of the event then drastically affected Janet's career. And number 4. Nikita Dragun. While Nikita Dragun was on vacation in Miami back in November, what was meant to be a chill vacation would result in Nikita finding herself being arrested at the Good Time Hotel. In a police report obtained by TMZ, it would describe a chaotic scene in which Nikita was walking around the pool wearing no clothes. After the staff repeatedly asked her to put on clothes, Nikita would opt to pour water on the hotel workers instead. Later, after police responded to the phone call, they would head to Nikita's hotel room, where she would then pour water on them as well, and this would lead to her arrest. While Nikita was being held at a male jail until her bail was set at $2,000 by a judge in court, her placement was really controversial because Nikita is legally a woman, and being held in a prison housed with only men was a clear violation of her human rights. Upon being released, she would then be set to appear back in Miami court again in December, and she was only allowed to go back to the Good Time Hotel to collect her things alongside of a supervising officer. Due to Nikita disobeying the hotel's dress code and refusing to follow their instruction, she would also find herself permanently banned from the hotel. And number 3. Lady Gaga. Now, Lady Gaga has a knack for attracting attention, and sometimes it's because of her very controversial costume choices. When Lady Gaga was touring Asia in 2012, she chose not to tone down her show despite some of the country's protests. With there being only a minor opposition, Gaga would find her Born This Way tour show being cancelled in Indonesia by national police after they refused her a permit for what they called safety reasons. The police would then say her outfits are too sexy, indulgent, and erotic. It's said that the move to refuse Gaga's permit is thought to be in response to a protest by the National Council, the top Islamic body in Indonesia. While the police itself had no problem with Lady Gaga, the Islamic Defenders Front political organization claimed that Gaga's dance moves were vulgar and it would corrupt disrupt young people, and they even threatened to deploy 30,000 members to physically prevent Lady Gaga from getting off the plane. Although much of Indonesia is politically moderate, the Islamic Defenders Front has become increasingly vocal, and they even thank the police for banning Lady Gaga's show. With human rights groups seeing this move as a dangerous step back from the country, they have even expressed concern. And the show's promoter expressed sadness that the country was not mature enough to be able to separate their own moral values from the arts and culture. And number 2, Kendall Jenner. In 2014, Kendall Jenner's risky Marc Jacobs runway appearance during the New York City Fashion Week would officially be banned from Instagram after the reality TV star strutted down the Marc Jacobs runway with her top half exposed amid the backlash would result in Instagram to remove the image from the photograph sharing website. With the photo violating Instagram's guidelines, Kim first tried posting Kendall's picture to her Instagram after she noticed Instagram deleted the photos. She would say, "Can Instagram just delete your photos?" Maybe Kendall Jenner was too hot for Instagram. While both Kim and Khloe both posted the photographs of their sister's top half fully exposed without an undergarment on the Marc Jacobs runway, one fan attempted to explain the backlash that Kendall's outfit was receiving by saying, "We're not hating Khloe, she just needs to cover up, she doesn't need to dress like that." And Khloe responded to the tweet by saying it's a fashion show, she doesn't choose. Many fans found it even quite weird that even Kris Jenner posted the picture. As if any of us posted a picture like that, I don't think any of our mothers would have been proud of our risky behavior being displayed for the whole world to see on a site that children use. While the photo would go on to be banned on Instagram, it seems like Instagram would then start to be more strict about the content that you can post on its platform. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen and his E Street Band guitarist would find themselves being thrown out of Disneyland in 1983 after they were caught violating the park's dress code. According to the memoirs written by both musicians, the E Street entourage would find themselves thrown out of Disneyland after they refused to remove their bandanas that they were wearing. Bruce wrote in his Born to Run autobiography that the Disneyland security team was extremely worried that Bruce and his guitarist, Steven, would be misidentified as a gang member if they didn't remove their bandanas. While both were shouting, "We're out of here," Bruce would recall shouting, "We're going to Knott's Berry Farm." However, they couldn't even get into Knott's either due to the same reason. In a letter Steven wrote in 1983, he would say, "At Disneyland, enforcing this ridiculous law is also an attack on the rock and music and all the people who believe in it. They're telling me nobody rocks in the Magic Kingdom. Nobody expresses their individuality in the Magic Kingdom except maybe the guy in the rodent suit. It is time to boycott Disney until the vague and unfair dress code they enforce is abolished once and for all." However, even today it seems like you just can't wear anything to Disneyland, as they'll turn you around and ask you to buy clothes from one of their many expensive shops.